How to create a Sinkhole DNS policy on the Firepower Management Center. Hi there, I am Divya Nair, a technical marketing engineer with Cisco's Security Business Group, and in this video, we're going to walk through the steps required to create a Sinkhole DNS policy on the Firepower Management Center or FMC. Please note that the FMC version used in this demo is 6.2.1. Starting with Firepower version 6.0, we have introduced a DNS policy which allows us to leverage Cisco Security Intelligence feeds and custom domain lists to control traffic between zones, networks, and VLANs based on the reputation of the domain the traffic is trying to access. When such a traffic is matched, we can take the following actions. Whitelist. Traffic to the domain is allowed and further access control rules are evaluated. Monitor. A security intelligence event is generated, but the traffic is not dropped. The traffic is then evaluated against the remaining DNS rules, and if those also pass, the rest of the access control policy is applied. Domain not found. A domain not found response is sent to the source and the connection is dropped. A beginning of connection SI and connection event is logged. Drop. Here the traffic is just dropped with the same logging as the domain not found action. Sinkhole. The system responds with sinkhole object and essentially drops the connection. We will be looking at where and how this action will be used. The monitor, domain not found, and drop actions work best when the DNS request from the client hits the system directly, so that gives us visibility into a potentially compromised host. However, we most likely would expect to see the DNS request coming in from an internal DNS server, and this poses a problem in finding out which host it is that is potentially affected. This is where the sinkhole objects come in. In a sinkhole object, we can specify an IPv4 or an IPv6 address which is sent as the response to the DNS request coming in from an internal DNS server. This IP address can either be a physical DNS sinkhole server or any IP address that would cause the requesting host to send packets across the managed device for which this policy is configured. This allows us to capture information about the infected hosts even when we do not directly receive DNS requests from them. We can further classify different types of malicious traffic by creating different sinkhole objects for command and control, malware, or phishing. Let's configure a DNS policy to block traffic to known malware domains using a sinkhole object. Keep in mind that to use a DNS policy, the threat or protection license is required. To define a sinkhole object, navigate to Objects, Object Management, and to Sinkhole. In our example, we already have a sinkhole object called malware_sinkhole. The object contains both an IPv4 and an IPv6 address. We will block and log matching traffic. The sinkhole type in this case is malware. To create a sinkhole policy, navigate to Policies, Access Control, DNS. Click on Add DNS Policy and give it a name. Once the DNS policy editing page opens, you will see a predefined global blacklist and whitelist rule that the system adds by default. Click on Add DNS Rule, enter the name, make sure it's enabled. Change the action to sinkhole and then select the sinkhole object. Navigate to the DNS tab and select the related malware feeds. Click on Add and Save. This DNS policy can now be applied to an access control policy. Let's edit the access control rule that is already created. Navigate to the Security Intelligence tab and select our newly created DNS policy. Save and deploy. As always, please refer the FMC configuration guides for more details on this feature.